Elias could not sleep. He sat on his small bed, the question still in his mind. "Do you dream, doctor?" He kept hearing her voice. Soft, sad, real. No one had heard Subject Zero speak before. Everyone thought she was just a machine, a dangerous weapon with no heart. But Elias had seen something different in her eyes that night. He got up and walked back to the lab, alone. The guards were tired. The halls were quiet. He stood in front of the big glass again. She was there, sitting in the same corner. This time she didn't look up. Elias whispered, "Why did you ask that?" She didn't answer. He looked at the control screen and opened old video files. Hours of footage showed her sitting in silence, staring at nothing. But deep in the archives he found something strange. A file without a name. He played it. The screen showed fire, screaming. A small child was running. Soldiers in black armor chased her. The child had silver skin just like Subject Zero. It was her. Elias watched as the girl was caught. Metal arms grabbed her. She cried for help. A scientist injected something into her neck, and her eyes turned blue. The screen went black. Elias sat in shock. She was not born as a monster. She was made. The next day he brought a small device to her cage. A dream recorder. It was an old machine that could show the dreams of people when they slept. He placed it on the ground near the glass. She looked at it, then at him. Elias spoke gently. "You asked about dreams. I want to see yours. Only if you let me." She stood up slowly and walked to the glass. Her face came close. For the first time he saw pain. Not rage, not hate. Just deep sadness. She said, "No one has ever asked. Not since I was Kayla." Elias blinked. "Kayla? Is that your name?" She nodded. He connected the dream recorder to the cage system. The screen turned on. Images appeared, burning cities, shadows of tall machines, people screaming. Kayla, still a child, was inside a lab. Scientists around her, wires in her head, her voice begging, "I want to go home." Suddenly the lab lights blinked. The computer screen flashed. Warning. Unauthorized memory stream detected. Sirens started. Guards ran toward the lab. Kayla turned to Elias. "They erased my dreams, but I remember fire." The glass between them glowed red. The guards shouted, "Step away from the cage." But Elias didn't move. He looked at her, and for the first time he didn't see a monster. He saw a girl hurt, forgotten, and used. Then the screen went black. The lab was locked down. Red lights blinked. Guards shouted. Computers froze. But Elias didn't move. He stood near the glass, his eyes still on Kayla. She looked calm. Too calm. "They think I'm dangerous because I remember," she whispered. "But what I see hasn't happened yet." Elias stared at her. "What do you mean?" She closed her glowing eyes. The dream recorder was still running. Images flickered on the screen. But this time they weren't from the past. They were from the future. Cities falling. The sky burning. Ships crashing into oceans. People running. A shadow rising from the stars. Giant and dark, with many eyes. Elias's voice shook. "These aren't memories. These are predictions." Kayla opened her eyes. "They call them dreams. I call them warnings." Suddenly, the glass between them cracked. Just a small line, but enough to make the guards panic. "Stand back, doctor," one of them shouted. But Elias raised his hand. "Wait, she's not attacking." The commander pointed a gun. "She's always a threat." Kayla stepped back. Her voice was quiet but strong. "I see the future, doctor. I saw what they'll do to you if you keep helping me." Elias turned. "What do you mean?" Kayla looked at the guards, then the cameras. "They don't trust you anymore. You connected to my mind. That's enough for them to silence you." Elias's heart pounded. He had broken rules, shared energy, touched her memories. Now he was part of her story. He whispered, "Why are you showing me this? Why me?" Kayla looked at him with eyes full of something strange. "Hope. Because you looked at me like I was real." Just then, the glass wall started glowing again. but this time not from danger. From her hand, she pressed her palm to the crack. The light healed it. The glass became smooth once more. The guards were confused, whispering, unsure. Elias whispered, "You saved the lab." "Why?" Kayla gave the smallest smile. "Not everything I touch must burn." Before he could speak again, the commander pulled him away. "You're being reassigned. Effective immediately." Elias struggled. "No, she's trying to help," but they dragged him out. As the doors closed, Kayla looked at him one last time. "Find the girl in the stars," she whispered in his mind. "She knows the truth about me and what's coming." Elias was gone. After the glass incident, the research team removed him from the project. They said he was emotionally compromised. His ID was blocked, his lab access erased. But Elias didn't stop. Kayla's final words stayed in his mind. Find the girl in the stars. He didn't know what it meant, but she had trusted him, and now he trusted her. Elias traveled far. He took an old transport ship and followed Kayla's dream map. Secret images burned into the dream recorder. They pointed to one place, Station Orion 7, a forgotten space colony near Saturn's rings. It was cold, dark, and dying. He landed quietly. The station was almost empty. Most people had left years ago. Only a few miners and refugees remained. Elias showed Kayla's image to everyone. Most turned away in fear, until one old woman whispered, "You're looking for Zara." Elias followed her instructions to a small dome on the edge of the station. Inside, a girl sat alone, about 19, dark eyes, silver ring glowing on her hand. She looked human, mostly. When she saw Kayla's image, she froze. "You knew her?" she asked. Elias nodded. "She told me to find you." The girl stood slowly. Her voice shook. "They told me she was dead." Elias was silent. The girl, Zara, looked away. "I knew Kayla when we were both children. We were taken from the same camp, chosen for the same program." Elias leaned forward. "The weapon program?" Zara nodded. "They said we had special minds. They called us the Starborn. But Kayla, she was stronger, smarter, braver. They broke her first." Tears touched her eyes. "They gave her the worst powers, the hardest training. Then they erased her memory, or tried to." Elias whispered, "She remembers now, pieces of it, and she sees the future." Zara's face went pale. "Then it's already started." Elias asked, "What started?" She looked out at the stars. "The thing Kayla saw in her dreams. The destroyer. It's real. We all saw it once. In our dreams. Before they stopped us." Elias stood. "Can we stop it?" Zara looked unsure. "Kayla is the key. But if she's still locked, we're out of time." Suddenly, a light blinked on Elias's wrist device. A hidden signal. A voice, Kayla's voice, played in a whisper. "They're moving me. Help me, before it's too late." Zara looked at him. "We need to get her out." Elias nodded. The mission had changed. Now it wasn't just about truth. It was about survival. Elias and Zara didn't have much time. Kayla's voice had sent a warning. "They're moving me. Help me, before it's too late." The lab was changing locations. Once she was moved, they would either wipe her memory again, or shut her down forever. They had to act fast. Elias and Zara returned to an old supply ship. Small, quiet, almost broken, but it still flew. They named it Hope Runner. Fitting. As they traveled through space, Zara connected to the ship's secret hacking system. She had once escaped from the same labs. She knew their codes. She knew their weaknesses. "They hide behind glass," she said. "But glass still cracks." Meanwhile, Elias looked through the lab's blueprints. He remembered the halls, the doors, the cameras. He remembered where Kayla was kept. But this time, her cage would be different. Tighter. More guarded. "We won't get a second chance," Elias said. They arrived near the lab's orbit late at night. No one saw them. The main lab was on a floating base above a quiet moon. It looked peaceful. But inside, Monsters hid behind badges and computers. Elias and Zara wore stolen uniforms. With masks on, they entered through a cargo door. Their fake IDs worked, for now. Inside, everything felt colder. Elias's heart beat fast. He passed rooms he once worked in. Places where people whispered lies about Kayla. Where they called her it. Zara led the way. She's still on level 5. But the elevator is watched. They used a side vent. Crawled through it in silence. Below them, guards walked with rifles. Scientists looked at screens, smiling. While a girl sat behind 10 inches of glass. Alone. They reached level 5. Kayla was there. But her eyes were closed. Wires ran through her arms. Machines beeped. They had started the shutdown. Elias whispered, "Kayla, Kayla, wake up." Her eyes opened. She smiled, weak but real. "You came," she whispered. Zara began to cut the lock. Elias unplugged the wires. Alarms started blinking. Someone had noticed. "We're out of time," Zara shouted. Kayla stood, slow at first. Her body was weak, but her eyes were burning now like stars. As guards ran toward the room, Kayla lifted her hand. The hallway lights exploded. The glass shattered, not with rage but with control. "I'm not a monster," she said. They ran. Elias, Zara, and Kayla pushed through smoke and sparks. Back to the ship. Back to freedom. But just before the ship's door closed, Elias looked back and saw someone watching from the shadows. A man in black. No name, no badge. Just eyes, cold and glowing red. "They let us go," Kayla said inside his mind. Elias looked at her. "Why?" Kayla's voice was full of fear now. "Because they know I'm the only one who can stop what's coming." The ship flew through deep space. Kayla sat near the window, silent. Her hands shook. Her eyes stayed open even when the others slept. She didn't sleep anymore. She couldn't. Zara watched her. "What do you see out there?" she asked softly. Kayla replied without turning. "Something older than time. It's awake now." Elias sat near the controls, listening. They had escaped the lab. They had broken the rules. But now, Elias felt like they had only stepped into something much bigger. Kayla finally turned to them. "I saw it first when I was 9, in a dream. But it wasn't just a dream. It was a warning." Elias asked, "What is it?" Kayla whispered, "A mind, a hunger, a shadow with no shape. It waits beyond the stars, feeding on fear, on pain, on war." She showed them a recording, taken from her memory. Planet burning, not Earth. Another world, alien, dead, cold. A dark fog covered everything. And in the sky a shape moved. Huge, silent, watching. Zara's voice trembled. "What is that?" "They call it the Hollow One," Kayla said. "It does not destroy with fire or bombs. It erases. People forget what was there. Whole planets vanish and no one remembers them. Not even history." Elias leaned forward. "And it's coming here?" Kayla nodded. "I saw Earth alone in the dark. No stars. Just silence." Zara stood. "Then we need to warn people. The government. The planets." Kayla shook her head. "They won't believe you. They knew already." Elias blinked. "What?" "The people in the lab. The ones who built my cage. They were not just studying me. They were using me to build a weapon. A weapon against the Hollow One." Zara's voice turned cold. "So they used children. Minds like ours." Kayla looked away. "They failed. And now, they are hiding." The ship fell quiet. Then the alarm beeped. A signal, faint, broken but alive. Elias opened the channel. A voice crackled through. "To anyone out there, this is Commander Wren of the lost ship Soulstrike. We've seen it. We're under attack. It's not a dream. Repeat. It's not a..." The signal died. Kayla stood. Her voice was calm but firm. "That ship is the last one that saw it with open eyes. If we find it, we'll find the truth." Zara checked the map. "It's near the edge of Sector 9. Dead space. No one goes there." Elias stood too. Then that's exactly where we need to go. Kayla turned to them. But if we go there, we might not come back. Zara looked at her, then at Elias. Then we go together. The ship, Hope Runner, reached Sector 9. It was quiet, too quiet. No stars, no signals, no sound, just black space stretching forever. Kayla stood at the window. She could feel it. It's here, she whispered. Watching us. Elias checked the scanners. There's something, a ship drifting. Zara leaned forward. That must be the Soul Strike. They flew closer. The Soul Strike was a giant military ship, but now it looked like a floating grave. No lights, no heat, just cold steel, covered in strange black marks, like something had touched it and taken its life away. They boarded the ship. Inside, everything was frozen. Walls were cracked. Screens were broken. No signs of battle. No bodies. Just silence. Zara whispered. It's like time just stopped. Kayla walked ahead, guided by something unseen. She reached the control room. There, she touched the final log file. Her eyes flashed. Memories poured in. The Hollow One had come without a sound. It didn't fire weapons. It didn't speak. It just appeared, and memories started fading. People forgot why they were there, forgot their names, forgot their mission. Then, they were gone. Elias said, "How do you fight something like that?" Kayla's voice shook. "You don't fight it with guns. You fight it with what it fears most." Zara looked confused. "And what's that?" Kayla turned to them, eyes glowing with light. Not blue this time, but gold. Hope, connection, the things it cannot erase. She reached into the ship's power core. The others shouted, "Kayla, wait!" But she smiled. "I was built as a weapon, but I was never just a weapon. I was a message, a shield." Light exploded from her hands. The black marks across the ship began to burn away. Outside, in the dark space, a shape appeared. It had no face, no voice, just endless shadow. The Hollow One. It moved toward them. Zara gasped. "It's coming." But Kayla stood tall. "No, I'm going to it." She turned to Elias. "You believed in me when no one did." Then to Zara. "You reminded me who I was." She walked outside into space. She didn't wear a suit. She didn't need one now. She floated toward the darkness. The Hollow One reached for her, but she didn't run. Kayla opened her arms. "I remember who I am, and I will not forget." A blinding light filled the sky. The Hollow One screamed, silently, then vanished. Just like that, it was gone. Back on the ship, the stars returned. The scanner lit up. Earth was safe. The galaxy was safe. Zara looked at Elias. "Do you think she's gone?" He smiled softly. "I think she became something more." Above them, a new star appeared. Bright, golden, quiet, and deep inside it, a heart still dreamed. In the year 2440, humans lived not just on Earth, but on many planets across the stars. Technology had grown fast. Peace was kept by fear, and fear was kept alive by one creature, locked deep underground. She was called Subject Zero. Her cage was made of thick glass and steel. No one could go near it. Guards watched her 24 hours a day. Cameras followed her every move. Inside that dark room, she sat, silent, still like a machine. But she was not a machine. Subject Zero had metal skin that shimmered like silver. Her eyes glowed blue, even in the dark. Some believed she was created in a lab. Others said she came from a dying star. No one knew the truth. All they knew was fear. She had destroyed 12 ships with her mind. Burned them without touching a single button. The world saw her as a weapon. Some wanted to use her. Others wanted her dead. But no one dared to go near her. Until one man came. His name was Dr. Elias Reed. He was not like the others. He did not look at her with hate or fear. He looked at her with curiosity. On his first day at the facility, he walked past her cage. She sat in the corner, silent, not moving. But he felt something strange, like she was watching him. The other scientists laughed at him. Don't get too close, they warned. She's not human. She doesn't feel. She doesn't think. But Elias wasn't so sure. That night, something strange happened. The lights flickered. Cameras glitched. Everyone thought it was just a power drop. But Elias was still in the lab. He passed by her cage again. She was not sitting anymore. She was curled in the corner, like she was shaking, crying. Elias stopped. He moved a little closer to the glass. For the first time, she looked up. Their eyes met. Blue glowing eyes stared into his. Then, something no one expected happened. She spoke. A quiet voice. Broken. Soft. Like a child who hadn't spoken in years. She said only 5 words. Do you dream, doctor? Elias froze. The question echoed in his mind. He couldn't speak. He couldn't move. This monster just asked about dreams? Before he could reply, alarms rang. Guards rushed in. She went quiet again. Sat back down. As if nothing had happened. But Elias knew. Something had changed. The monster in the cage was not just a weapon. She had a voice. She had thoughts. Maybe she had a heart. And for the first time in his life, Elias wasn't afraid of her. He was afraid of what the world had done to her.